And so family, now, for only the third time, this is called grass basket. ¿Estamos listos? Are we ready? I'm translating. I'm gonna be my translator tonight. Are we ready? Ready, bro? This is love. This is love. This is a longer piece. So here we are at Navajo Nation Library, and we're reciting Grass Basket. And we begin. My First Nations family, my brothers and sisters of soul, this human circle is a grass basket that long ago fell into a vortex called forgetting and lost its way, lost its truth, lost its essential weaving, and the grass strands, they came loose and the human circle went wandering away from the fire at the center, the only place where the light is bright enough for us to peer across and see each other for who we truly are. My grandfather, Chief Seattle, from the upper lands, he spoke to us of who we are when his clear voice said, humankind has not woven the web of life. We are but a strand within the web. Therefore, what we do to the web, feel this, what we do to the web, we do to ourselves. And now the sky grows dark, and we grow more forgetful. But the air is colder, and the children are being lost in the wilderness of a sickness that came here and said, you are less than human. A sickness that grew as sickness does inside all those exposed to it until tribal children were whispering to themselves. As they climbed the ladder to adulthood, they whispered, I am less than human. Now we have no choice, for the grass basket is so unwoven. It can no longer hold healthy water. In the night, air has grown so cold that we are forced to come back to the fire, so that as we thaw the chill of illusion away, as we thaw, the illusion that says that we are separate strands in separate webs, living lives that do not truly touch each other anywhere, not anywhere. As we melt this illusion away and begin to see ourselves clearly again in the light of fire, the fire of truth and courage and speaking truth and drinking courage. As we do this one dance that we all avoid, we arrive at an unseen place that cannot be measured or altered by science and data and forms and longitudinal study and focus groups and steering groups and rollouts and RFPs and funding streams and all other foreign herds of bison and musk ox running with all their brawn toward a tall cliff. No. Instead, in our dance of destiny, we arrive at an unseen place called reckoning, where we finally put down our armament of anger and disrobe from our status and stature and throw off our masks of composure and stare at each other the way the old ones cared enough to stare at each other. And we say, here I am. This is me. And my heart is hurting. And my spirit daily keeps deserting. And here in my palm is my pain. And here on my tongue is my story. I am tired of this tirade of torture, this endless season of treason against our young. I surrender now to the force of life and muster faith that its greatness will suffice. I remember my grandfather, Chief Crow, and his words of silence that said, in you are natural powers. You already possess everything necessary to become great. And so I give up to you, colleague to colleague, advocate to advocate, human to human, kin to kin, blood to blood. I give up to you the naked truth of me and trust that you will do the same. Trust that in our humbled state, knees in the cold clay of transformation, We will find a compassionate fate that takes our frayed grass strands and in its divine hands weaves us back together again so that we can become a grass basket that holds healthy water for the collective son and the collective daughter. You see before you a man. The truth is I stand, a man ghost of the child I was, born from mother womb straight into the system. That long parade of paperwork that strains to make a childhood work. And that child spirit inside my being looks out through the window in this chest and sees our world of children walking over thin and melting ice, rowing seal boats that leak, sleeping on empty stomachs of soul, waking with thirsty throats of spirit, looking with wide young eyes across valleys like prey birds, drying and dying to spot a meal of substance, dying to locate a grown man or woman who will stand in the cold wind and the long nights with a strong torch and words that soothe and a heart that cares enough to bleed. Into a river of courage that the children can walk beside, big hand holding small hand, until small hand reaches the meadow where the ground does not shake and the trees do not fall and the sky does not split and that tender child heart can slow its drum, for peace is come, for peace is come. You are that drum. You in your determination to look inside your archival self and lose the paperwork deep in your soul that since birth has transcribed this world and all its illusions. You in your determination to take stock and self-assess and recognize and acknowledge, process, purify, excavate, eradicate all the false files filling up the soul space where you could have love, flowing freely like an Alaskan waterfall into an Alaskan sea. You who knows that when you spear a whale, you feed family upon family for week upon week. But when you spear the truth of disparity, the truth of why these children, our children, pour like a violent hemorrhage into the basin of displacement and despair, when you spear the truth of this, you feed generations with the breaking of dysfunctions, calloused and calcified cycle. When you speak the truth, dare the truth, share the truth, honor the truth, you break the cycle. And the cycle must break now. For our ancestors, they grow weary. They grow teary. And two great ones, two great ancestors of ours, they meet on the dust road and Geronimo asks, "What is in your heart?" And Chief Joseph answers, "I will fight no more forever." There is no other medicine for this breaking of the ancient cycle but the truth of reckoning. And it is you today who fills your drum with medicine and pours from a deep well of compassion filled by sun. You in your determination to sing again today and sit at this long table in this long house and stare through the fire at your kindred strands of grass and see them. Truly see them. You in the blood you bleed today. You in the breath of compassion you breathe out today. You in your stance of warriorhood, standing fast and rooted against the hordes of fear that would have you run away from this work, this task, this ancestral assignment to cure your circle. You in your flowering of light, your epiphany of soul, your surrender to love so that your old wounds can finally heal. And your old trauma can finally feel that it has a purpose to serve, a purpose like salt-curing slabs of pain, into a meal of motive, a river of reason, to serve these children, these families, this community, this land, this tribe, this people, this First Nation, this humanity. Serve it all in the spirit of the mountains that rise, in the trees that grow, in the rain that falls, in the sun that shines, in the moon that glows, which is to say, the spirit that lives, the spirit that lives. You, because on this day you choose to truly open your soul doors to fresh air of healing and harmony. Because you choose to live, you take your mouth state of heart, your moth state of heart, and metamorphose that flower into a beautiful butterfly heart of servitude, of serving souls, of being medicine, making medicine, one not afraid to feel and endure the raw pain that comes from dipping our spirit in the cold water of what is authentic and drowning there, never again walking in rhetoric or going through the motions of making change, but never pulling up the persistent roots of illness necessary before tasting change. You butterfly heart who fills the sky with the colors of beauty, coming home to the fire and the circle and finding that peace is come. You are that drum, because on this day you choose to live. Sun soon will rise again, its face of light a glacier of heat, burying the sky in the hum of hope, blistering away the old wounds and the old ones who walked here before us, walked this vast and silent tribal territory. Can you feel them? This night the old ones will sleep a deep sleep, painted in smiles and reassured heart, knowing that their long weeping children now walk an unmistakable road to wholeness. A road of free crystal rivers called healing, that falls like water into the lagoon of promise, that spills into the bay of destiny, where seabirds draft the winds and a people gather to shed their skins of woundedness and barter their dreams for priceless coins of beautiful moments, where a people gather to share their drink of story and pass around the fire their meal of story and dance their light and love deep in the earth of story, where a people gather not needing mismatched intervention or foreign medicine or desperate formal measures, for they live now in the valley of their own heritage and all its treasures, untarnished by a dehumanizing cultural cloth, unstolen, unmuted, unrevoked, fully cloaked in its essential weathers of broad sky above, and at the knee children growing swiftly into tall pines to keep the circle whole and thriving. Spirit speaks these things through our sacred circle of grass basket today. Soon we will hold healthy water and never let it go again. This is what we live. This is what we serve. This is what we pray. Thank you. Thank you. I got a lot of books. Trying to feed. So my challenge, I've been going around the world for a few years, and it's all consuming. It takes a lot of recovery, a lot of healing and rest and restoration. There's a lot of depletion. Been doing it for many seasons, and at the same time, even as I was doing all that, blessed to have the medicine come through into books, 19 and counting. So my challenge is not finding enough to read for you. It's hard for me to pick what to read because everything else is left out. So I'm sitting in the hotel today going through the books, man, and it's painful. Like, I want to share this with you. I want to share that one with you. In life, we have to pick a path. Many rivers to cross. You know this song? Anybody? Am I the only one? Many rivers to cross. Okay, Google it. That's what my daughter would say. Google that joint. Google that joint, man. My boy D, back in LA. He's amazing. He's beautiful. He's filled with so much inspiration. He goes to all the schools and speaks to the kids and the staff and the teachers, and they can't get enough of him. He's young. He's small. He looks like he's got a baby face. He looks like a student. He could fit in the junior high school, and he's her age. And he's been talking to me for many years about how he wants to write books, right? He's got books he wants to write. When he met me, he's like, Jaiya, I'm gonna write more books than you, man. I'm okay, D. All right. And in the competition, chill out. But it was his way of expressing his excitement. Like, he has a lot of love to share. The thing about D is he's so filled with inspiration and ideas and creativity that he gets overwhelmed into like an ADHD kind of like, whoa, every day. And so we have these conversations for years about the value of focus, being still, como los árboles, like the trees. They figured something out a long time ago. There's trees that have been living for thousands of years, before the time of Christ. Right here, not far from us in California, a sequoia. They learned something about the blessing of being still, being very still and focused, and understanding that there's temptations to travel many paths. But if you just choose one at a time, you can perform miracles, and miracles can come into your life. So maybe you say, I want to stop drinking. I want to get better sleep. I want to move my body. I want to stop being so mean to my sister. I want to forgive my lover. I want to learn a softer language to communicate in. I want to learn a skill. This life is so brief, and we feel anxious because we sense it passing. And there's so much we want to do and accomplish. There's a blessing, I'm saying, in being still. Even a river knows this, and it was born to move. So if you go into a river and you spend some time, you see that at first you think, oh, the river's moving. Jaiya don't know what he's talking about. That river's moving. There's no stillness. But if you really sit with the river, you start to see it. And you see that there are still places in the river where the water is calm and there's no current. And that's the river resting. That's the river reflecting, pausing and pondering, remembering. That's the river gathering and harvesting. That's the river dreaming and praying. That's the river determining what it wants for the day, what blessings it wants to give. So in life, there's always this duality. Different seasons. The four teachers are trying to help us understand you can be many things, but balance. You don't have to run around crazy like a hummingbird, like a mosquito, like a chicken with its head cut off. It's okay to just sometimes. And then the answers tend to come. Okay, this is a whole different vibe than the last piece, but I'm going to read this one in honor of dear Dionne. This is called Little Brown Girl Who Wants to Write. You with me? Okay. Little Brown Girl Who Wants to Write. This is from my book. That piece I did, Grass Basket, is unpublished. I'll get it in a book eventually. This is the book, Father to Son, Ode to Our Black Young. And there are many pieces in here that speak not only to, Africa's offspring, but to all of us, really. But this one in particular is speaking to the little brown girl because being brown, the world relates to her in a certain way. And some of that is hurtful and has stayed with her and affected her in ways she might not even be conscious of. But she has this, you might have this same fire in you, not necessarily to write, maybe to sing, to drum, to dance, to do engineering, physicists. You could be having any kind of fire in you, but she wants to write. So this is a little bit of a rhythmic little flow. Ready? Here we go. Whole world wants you quiet and bowed. You were born to be bold and free and proud. Gotta get your words out. Gotta say your thing. Gotta let your truth run wild, dear child. Gotta open up and let your freedom ring. Gotta stomp, gotta dance, gotta sing. Don't be afraid to let the curls pop. Your verses drop. Your sun all the way out. Your rhythm to roll, your soul to stroll. If you write all the stories inside you, you can change the stories of other little brown girls just like you. You can change the world and help heal the pain. Or if you want, you can write just for you. Your words can be your best friends, your playmates, your own magical worlds. Write on paper, write in the dirt, write when you're happy, write when you're hurt. Don't worry about writing rules or being judged by fools. Write like your words are wild things. Let them run and hunt and fly and swim. Let them dig deep. Dig your words. Massage your words with essential oils. Burn them like incense, sacred plants. Let them love and laugh and dream and cry. Plant them in the soil to become forests. Put them in the sky to become infinity. Send your words out to gather all the languages taken from your people. And all the lands and waters and all the memories too. Make your words an offering, a ceremony, a love potion you drink so you can love all your ingredients. Weave your words into blankets and clothing and baskets and shelter. Stew your words into medicine and feed all living things. Use your words as candles and light up the places you are afraid to go. Little brown girl, get down, girl. Do your thing. Set yourself free. Write your words so you can set flight to your words. Don't hold them tight. Burn them bright. Bless the night. Bless the day. Bless your whole life with your beautiful, so beautiful, so incredible, always edible words. Thank you. We're going all over the place. We got many styles for you. So, by the way, so tomorrow we are at K Info Shop with Radmila Kuri and the people. 11 a.m. Go and tell the story this evening of what you have experienced here. If you feel someone can use the medicine tomorrow, don't be greedy. Don't hoard it. Share it. Spread the word. You heard? Let people know. That's how we do. That's how we grow. That's how we gather. That's how we know. So tomorrow we'll be in the marketplace. Grace. Donovan, brother, I want you to know, and I'll speak to you afterward, there's someone close to me who would like to purchase one of each book as a gift blessing for the library. And I'll share with you about that. It's a beautiful thing to be able, I have a thing called a Book Angel Project. And that project is a fulfillment of my heart's desire to leave medicine words all over the world in places where people are vulnerable. So shelters and hospitals and prisons, women's shelters, community centers, encampments, wherever people are having a hard time, to just leave the words. And it's been a beautiful river for me. And I'm looking forward to just having more abundance to be able to gift more books. That's a dream of mine and a prayer of mine. And this is an aspect of it, actually, just doing the reading, because it goes into you. And then you become the soil from which the corn grows. You become the holder of the crop. And in your own way, you write your own books in the way you live your life. Yeah? In the way you live your life. I want to share this with you. This is from a dream, vision. This is from my book, All These Rivers, and You Chose Love. You could have chose a lot of other things, but you chose love. Last night, in my sleep, I ran with my ancestors. We ran a dirt road on red land. Shirtless, we held high our fists and cried our passion across the bright desert. And later, we sat by the fire and talked story into the night. We watered our future with visions of a good way of life. In our stories, our children ran free. No hungry ghosts chased them. No unnatural things haunted them for their land. Our language ran free too. It flowed as a waterfall, which meant that they carried love for our people. I repeat that. Our words carried love for our people. We need to be careful about our language. Our words were like fat, maize, corn stalk, and we feasted on our own language. Women walked safe among their own people. We grew quiet as the women spoke. They had lifetimes to pour into us. We drank. We laughed and cried in a good way. We slept sweetly with peace in our bones and freedom dancing on the lightness of our breath. New sun flamed over the horizon. Desert birds sang our morning song. We rose with a reason. We would not wander in this new day. We were known to ourselves. Our vision was clear. Our hearts as free as the wind. Last night, in my sleep, I ran with my ancestors. We were as wild horses who knew not of bondage. Our skin glistened in the sun. Our muscles moved like the sweet grass. It was sacred. It was a living prayer. It was good. Thank you. Same book. Sweet soul, do not allow yourself to be treated less than sacredly. Let me pause. Do not allow yourself to be treated less than sacredly. You may need to learn how to treat yourself sacredly along the way. Maybe no one in your family or life knew what sacredness looked like. Maybe each of you inherited desecration. Once you set a sacred standard, how the world treats you does not dislodge you. You will have your template, your expectation, your boundary. You will know who and what belongs in your life based on your self-determined criteria. And from this foundation, you can develop the muscles for letting go of what does not choose to or is not able to relate to you sacredly. Even if the whole world fails your sacredness, you will have the power and practice to remain rooted in reverence for yourself. Yourself being life itself. You see? You are sacred because you are life. You do not have to earn your sacredness. You exist, therefore are you sacred. And what does sacredness feel like? All the purest things you have ever known. My God, you are one of them. Thank you. We're going to stay with the river. Maybe love is not the problem. Maybe the way we think about love is the problem. Maybe we need to remember how deep and deciduous love is. That it exists in all of our moods and seasons. That its branches go bare in winter, even as its roots grow bold. And that love is in the ugly things and sorrowful, mournful things and wild things too. When a nation examines itself and feels shame at its truth, this too is love. Love is when we tear down rotten structures and when we vomit the poisonous lies about who we are together. Love is honesty even when it hurts, especially then. Love is a willingness to wade into uncomfortable waters to reach a healthier shore. Love is remembering what dearly matters to remember, remembering to remember. Also, forgetting to forget. For memory, no matter how painful, is a womb for birth. Love is not happiness. It is a vitality that allows happiness to feel welcome, to take root. Love is the oxygen of grace. Grace for yourself, grace for all living things. Not unconditional acceptance, grace, an honoring of the isness of things, an honoring that is bedrock for the building of what needs to be. Love bleeds. Love staunches the bleeding. Love looks into the river and sees itself. Love recognizes what fear chooses not to see. Love is an inconvenient storyteller. If you colonize, you are a colonizer. If you benefit from a caste system, you are a beneficiary of a caste system. Love gives us the story undiluted, undistorted. Love is braille, tactile language, and mist. Love is mist. In the end, love is a refusal to let die matters that should live. Love is resistance. Those who oppress do not want love anywhere around. You see? For love destroys castles and makes love between dirt and dreams. Love is sunlight on the skin of injustice until it burns. Love never goes, so it never returns. Love is the courage to act, the action of courage. Love ruins world orders. Love's orders raise life from the ruins, resurrection. Love weaves urgency and ease. Do you want to taste love? Stand on a mountain and taste the breeze. Love is the end point of all disease. Love composts harm into harmony, haunts as it heals. This poem cannot end, because love does not end. Love is the beginning of how we begin. Thank you. So family, say this inside your soul. You ready? We're going to say it actually. In this morning light, I kneel by the river and wash my spirit clean in sacred water. I bow in reverence, for this day is a glorious gift. I listen to the great silence. It's truth pouring into me. I choose stillness. I am a lagoon where peace shall gather. I wear sky for a skin. Worship in the woods. Birds are my choir. I shed the idea of myself and fill with spirit. It is morning. All things are new. So am I. Thank you. Prayers. In some culture, the word for poetry is the same as the word for song. And the word for both is the same as a word for prayer. That's a cool culture, yeah? That's an old culture. That's an old culture. You know this thing that you call your life? It is a living thing. Huh? It's a living thing. It's made of spirit and bone, suppleness, softness, and severity. Notice the music of it, the air between notes, the silence in the breath of the melody. If you do not sing your life, it will not be alive. All living things are made of song and hunger for song. If you do not harvest your sorrows and make bread, your sorrows will make mountains and bury you. If you play games with truth, truth will swallow you. Truth does not play. Undress right here, right now. You have been taught to perform. Now is the time for you to touch your suffering and heal into your own unique authenticity. Do not look left or right. They are not you. Look into your soul. See your reflection in its shimmering surface. There are two ways you can do this thing you call your life. You can be harm, or you can be the immeasurable element called love. Your life is flooded with countless rivers leading nowhere, for they are made by humans lost in a human nightmare. Your life is also flooded with the only river that leads to the ocean of peace. Your peace, our peace, our peace. Maybe now is the time to stand on something towering high in the sky and look out over the landscape of your entire life. Behold your journey. Do something right now that makes your heart cry happiness. Do it now. Even if you are sitting, you can move and dance. Look at you. Look at what you have done. All these rivers in your life, and you chose love. Thank you. How we doing, fam? We good? Feeling good? Are you feeding? We say in the Pueblo on feast day, eat plenty, eat plenty. I never eaten so much as our feast day on the Pueblo, man. You go from one house to another just feasting. And at each house you're expected to clear the table, eat plenty. It's like Thanksgiving times 100.
Wow.
Try it sometime. Feast day in the Pueblo.